Is an amazing woman of God. I'm actually related to her, so hey, that makes it even better. This is my cousin. So I know she has a word for you.
Oh, yeah. Praise the Lord! How many's excited to be here today? I am just so excited. I got a bag full of stuff here. And like I said, my name's Julie. If you forget my name, you can just address me as the crazy speaker. Because usually, that's what happens. If you're a teenager, you are going to go to room 3 in the back. You have a special session in room 3. Anyways, 2 years ago, how many were here 2 years ago? Quite a few. We talked about clothing yourself with God, and we talked about yoga pants, Christians. Anybody remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. And then last year, we talked about zombies.
Yes.
Everybody remember that?
Yes.
Well, this year our theme is adorned for your destiny. Oh, that's so amazing. Trish and I were at a conference in April, one of those times, and we were sitting there, and I was just like, bam! God spoke, and He said, you've been adorned for your destiny. And immediately I was like, I got the theme for this year, Trish, we got it. We texted Sonia, we're like, Sonia, we're ready to go. We've got the theme for this year, you've been adorned for your destiny. And I believe that today, someone in here is going to leave with their life changed. Amen. Someone in here is going to experience a breakthrough.
Yes.
I'm not saying this lightly because I can feel the Spirit of the Lord in this place.
Come on, Julie.
Someone in here is going to see a transformational change in you like you've never seen before.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about being adorned. So, our verse was, Isaiah 61:10, I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God, for He has clothed me with the garments of salvation. He has covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with jewels. In this verse, Isaiah is saying, hey, God's already adorning us with so many good things.
Yes, He is.
So, let's talk about what exactly has God given us? Well, first of all, what does it mean to be adorned? Anybody have an idea? What does it mean to be adorned? Dressed up. What else? Love. Put on jewelry. Covered. These are all good answers. When you look it up, there's lots of different meanings. It can mean to decorate, to make beautiful, to set off with an advantage, to make pleasing, to display the beauty or excellence of. Wow, God wants to do that to us?
Yes.
That's pretty neat. So what has He given us? Let's look here. First of all, He has adorned us with peace. I'm going to get my peace here. Here's my peace. Ooh, that looks cute. Look, God gave that to me. Bible says in John 14:27, I'm leaving you with a gift, the peace of mind and heart. And the peace that I give is a gift that the world can't take away.
Right.
So don't be troubled or be afraid. Look at this. This is my peace. God gave it to me, and He told me the world can't take it away. Amen. Well, that's pretty nice. What else has God given me? Well, He also gave me the gift of hope. Here's my hope. Doesn't it look nice? That's hope.
Yes, it does.
Hope says in Romans 15:13, I pray that God, the source of your hope, will fill you completely with joy and peace because you trust in Him. And then will you overflow in the confident hope through the power of the Holy Spirit. Wow! He said, I not only have hope, but I got hope overflowing. I need a couple of those hopes. Look at that.
All right.
I'm overflowing with hope. God's given me some good stuff so far. Look at that. Got some peace and some hope, but that's not all He's given me. You see, He also put some love down in my heart. Got this nice red one for some love. So here's my love, he said, Romans 5:5, and hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured out through our hearts through the Holy Spirit. Look at that. He gave me some love. So right now I got some peace. I got some hope. I got some love. That's not all. He also said, I want to give you some joy. Yes. The Bible says, the joy of the Lord is going to be your strength. Yes. Oh! You mean I can have strength in the joy that God gives me?
Yes.
Yes. He said it's mine. Add that. Look, I'm just adorned today. Look how adorned I am. All this nice stuff. Well, he also gave us the gift of healing. Isaiah 53:5 said he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquity. The chastisement for our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we were healed. Oh my goodness, look at me. I'm just decked out and adorned. I'm a Christian, and God said, I'm going to give you all these things. So the question now is, if I'm adorned in peace and joy and love and all these things and hope, then why do I go around depressed and fearful and full of anxiety and sick when I'm a child of God?
Yes.
And earlier this year, God spoke this to me because I went through last year was probably one of the worst years of my life. I went through so many things, and I was a Christian. I love God. I'm filled with the Spirit. But I was depressed and oppressed. Can I be real with you today? Yeah. Anybody ever been depressed and oppressed? Yes. Anybody ever been anxious?
Yeah.
I was a Christian, but I was trying all kinds of medications to try to make me feel better, to try to make me okay. I was so sick, and the doctors didn't even know what was wrong with me. They're like, we can't find anything wrong. And I could barely get out of bed. And I was a Christian. God said I'm adorned with all these things. So Lord, what happened? And then God spoke to me this word that I'm going to give you today about what happens to everything that He has adorned us with. I'm going to give you the secret. Are you ready for the secret? Ready. I'm going to need a helper. Hold on one second. Let me check back here, see if there's a helper. Anybody back here? Oh, hold on. Helper right here. Missed something though. Here we go. Okay, here's my helper. Right here. Because I'm about to tell you what happens to all these wonderful things that God has adorned us with as Christians. When do we lose it? Well, make sure he's in up here good. Oh, that looks nice. First of all, how many married people we have in here today? Well, today, this is your husband. Here's your husband. Now, imagine yourself in this scenario. You've been working all day. You worked a double shift, okay? You are exhausted. You come home and the kids have torn up the house. I mean, it's just a wreck. Oh, it is awful. You are exhausted. The kids are crying. They want you to make something to eat. The house is torn up. Your husband walks in, and what's the first thing he says?
What's for dinner?
All these things. Where's dinner? Why is this house such a mess? What have you been doing all day? Uh-oh. Now, suddenly, the love that I had been adorned with, something happens to it. See, I take that love, and I give it to him. And now, instead of love, I'm picking up something
Okay.
Stay up there, little dude. Instead of love, I'm picking up some bitterness. Oh, yeah. That's right. Because now I'm thinking, who does he think he is? I just worked 12 hours. I can make more money than him, and he works 6. And he has the audacity to come in here and say, why is this house not clean? Wait, we'll just see if I ever clean the house again. Anybody ever been there? Yeah. And suddenly, we've given away our love. And so now, we're sitting over here bitter and angry. He's over there like, hey, what's up? He's not having any problems. I'm the one with the bitterness and the anger. I'm all tangled up in it. Because I gave it away. But that's not all. There's your husband. Say bye. Because next, how many's got some kids? Anybody got some kids in here? I've got some kids. Here they are. There you go. Those that. So you got these kids. You get home from work again the next day. Your son comes up and he's like, I got a note from school. Pick up the note and he's like, your child has been suspended for fighting. What? Yeah. In your mind, you're both angry because you're still carrying the bitterness from yesterday. But now, anxiety and fear starts to creep in. Because you think, oh no, my kid's going to be one of those delinquents. They're going to be one of those that gets thrown out of high school and lives on the side of the road and becomes a bum. They're going to fall with the wrong crowd. Things are going to be bad. It's going to be awful. What am I going to do? I can't take it anymore. And suddenly, our peace, we give it away. So now, we're giving that to our kids. Oh, there goes our peace. Bye, peace. And instead of peace, I pick up fear. And I know when it's about your kids, it's real easy to be fearful. Because we think, oh, what if they fall in with the wrong crowd? What if they do what's wrong? What if they walk away from God? What if they're driving down the road and are in a wreck and suddenly 10 million things are playing through our head and we become fearful and anxious and we give away our peace and we pick up the anxiety. But that's not all. Say bye to your kids.
Bye.
Because how many have work a job here? How many have a boss that's not always nice? Anybody? Well, let's say the next day you go to work and you have one of those bosses that are just like the meanest person ever. I mean, when you think of this person, you think of somebody that just is hard to get along with, just mean. You just have a mean boss. And you go in, and your boss says, calls you in the office and says, you know what? I'm going to have to take half of your hours, and I'm going to give them to the new guy. And you're like, well, wait a minute. That guy got started, he don't even come to work every day. You just taking half my stuff? Yeah, I'm going to take half your hours, and I'm going to give them to the new guy. Uh-oh, what begins to happen? You see, I had hope. I had hope in the future. And suddenly, my hope starts to fall off. And I start to give my hope away. Bye, hope. And you know what I'm picking up instead of hope? I got to pick up some despair. Pick up some despair. Because now I'm thinking, you know what? If I'd have been a good worker, he'd have probably kept me on. And I'd have all these hours, and now I probably have to, I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to make it? How am I going to pay my bills? What's going to happen? I can't go get another job. I don't have any skills. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then despair takes over for hope. That's what your boss can do. We give it away. But that's not all. Goodbye. How many have that one friend? That knows everything there is to know about everything. And is better at everything than anybody else. Anybody have a friend like that? Well, this is your friend today. Here's your friend. She comes over to visit. She's like, first of all, I noticed that you're letting your housework kind of go to the wayside. You really need to work on that. Can I recommend a new vacuum cleaner? Okay, and you say, well, the last couple of days I've had a bad headache. Oh, no. You've had a headache? A friend of mine had a headache for 2 days. She went in for x-rays. She found out it wasn't just an ordinary headache. It was a brain tumor. She was dead the 3rd day. Suddenly, you're healing. Steps out the door because now you're thinking, oh my goodness. I got myself, and he put it on her. I got myself a brain tumor. And then your self-confidence, everything else you got, she's getting rid of that too. You ever know somebody like that? Yeah. Right here. Now look. Okay, we'll just leave it right there. So now, instead of healing and joy, I don't look so good now, do I? I'm not quite adorned like I was before. And what happened? I gave it all away. Everything that I had. Everything that God gave to me. And He even said, the world can't take it away, but you can give it away. Right? So now, look at me. I'm not looking too good. But the first step is recognizing what's happening. I had to stop and say to myself, wait a minute. What am I doing? Why am I giving away what God has given me to the people around me? So let's go back. Anybody ready to get some stuff back?
Yes, Lord.
I'm ready to get some stuff back. Let's get our husband. Who wants to see the husband again? All right. Bring back our husband here. Thought our house was dirty. There you are. So now I have my husband here, and he had got me all full of bitterness. But then, see, there's something about the Spirit of the Lord that when you get in His presence, things begin to just fall off. Right. And so I began to pray and say, okay, God, you said you've given me all these things. And you said you've given me love. And right now, it's hard for me to love when I'm angry. It's hard for me to love, and I've taken up this bitterness instead, and I need your help. Lord, fill me with your love. And as we begin to get His presence, something begins to change. You see, because we begin to think about when Jesus was up on the cross and the love that He showed to those around Him. When the people were beating Him and mocking Him, He said, Father, forgive them. They don't even know what they're doing. And I am sitting here picking up bitterness because somebody said my house was dirty or made me angry.
Right, come on.
They were whipping Him and beating Him and killing Him. He said, forgive you. And then I began to think about His love for me. That I didn't deserve, and how I was in a place where I was unlovable, and no one should have loved me. And he reached down and said, I love you. You belong to me. And when I begin to think about that, when I begin to think about the love of God and his love towards me, it's hard to be bitter. It's hard to be angry. And so that bitterness, it just begins to fall off.
Come on.
And I come back here and I take back my love. Oh! See, I'm not giving it away anymore. Now, let's go see our kids. Here they are. So now I have my kids, things are going wrong, and it's easy to fall into that trap of fear. And I remember a while back that I was in that place where I couldn't get up in the morning. I was paralyzed by fear. I'd have panic attacks. I would wake up in the middle of the night, and my kids are teenagers, and have to go in the room and check on them and make sure they were okay, because the fear was gripping me so bad. And God one time, he came up to me and yelled at me and said, what are you doing? Didn't I give you those kids? I said, yeah, Lord. So you don't think I can take care of them? Well, yeah, God. So what are you worried about? Whatever happens, I'm with you. Oh, I want you to grasp that today. Whatever happens, I am with you. You see, if they go down the wrong path, well, I can just take it to the Lord. Because you see, he can send an angel to wherever they are, whatever they're doing, whatever they might be into. I can say, Lord, I plead the blood of Jesus over my children. I plead the blood of Jesus over everything that surrounds them. I pray your angels would just go around and camp around about them. Oh, I don't have to live in fear for what's going to happen to my children. I can give that to the Lord and drop it off. I'm going to take back my peace. Come on, give me my peace back. There it is. Now, we're back to our job. Bring our boss back here. His neck fell out.
War's already started.
Sorry, that was... So here's my boss. And you know, sometimes when I'm at work, I want to do good. I want things to go on. I was at a job last year where I loved the job. It was really far away. And things were getting tough. And circumstances were getting bad. And everywhere I tried to find something else, it seemed like there was no hope. Nothing opened up. Nothing changed. And I began to let go of that hope. And you writhe in despair. But that's when God began to speak to me. He said, you know, the Bible says I own the cattle of 1,000 hills.
Yes.
This guy owns one business.
Yes.
Don't you think I top him?
Yes.
Don't you know that I've adorned you for a divine destiny? You're wondering why your boss is being mean to you, but God's just trying to push you out of there so he can put you in where he has you really want to be. You see, he's making you a little restless, like when the eagle stirs up the nest so he can push the bird out. You wonder why things are going bad at work. You need to start making applications in the other place. Because God said, I didn't design you to do this. I designed you specifically and adorned you to come over here. But you're too restless, and you're too anxious, and you're too worried about what's going on in this job that you shouldn't even have. And you've lost hope. But I'm here to tell you today that if you're in that position, the God of all hope is walking with you today. And he has declared favor over your life. And no matter what the enemy says, you know what? I put in hundreds of applications. I worked at a school in the inner city, and I couldn't get anywhere. And then this last year, bam, I walked into a place the same day. They're like, we love you. Come on in. But it wasn't just a place, but it was the place. Because they're like, we don't want want you to just come in and teach. We want you to come and be a leader. We want you to come in and speak in these sessions. We want you to come in and do this and coach and do all these things. And see, God's new. I didn't need to be over there hiding in the place I was. He said, I got something better for you. So instead of letting your boss or your coworkers or your friends or your family take your hope, it's time to take it back. And we're going to throw off hopelessness and despair. Oh, we're almost there. Now we got our friend. And see, I told you about the time when I was in a place where I was so sick. And they didn't even know what was wrong with me. But I was like that woman who was bound over with an infirmity. And it didn't even say what it was. They probably didn't know what it was either. And I remember one time Trish took me to the emergency room and I was literally like this, wasn't I, Trish? And had to walk into the emergency room. I was bouncing low. I felt like that woman with the infirmity. But I want to tell you today, as I begin to take off the bitterness, the anxiety, the fear, the hopelessness, something began to change on the inside of me too. Amen. I began to see something in my health change. You see, when I'm wearing all these, it affects your health.
Yes, it does.
Bitterness affects your health. Fear affects your health. When I was having panic attacks, it was literally draining my body of everything that I had. And when I began to say, wait a minute, you know what? This doesn't belong to you. And I began to say, you know what God says? By His stripes, I'm healed. God says that no weapon that is formed against me is going to prosper. God says that when the enemy comes in like a flood, that the Spirit of the Lord is going to raise up a standard against him. The Bible says that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. Oh! And I begin to take that sickness. Oh! Get rid of it. And I'm going to pick up my healing.
All right.
And I'm going to pick up my joy. Because suddenly, when you're filled with the Holy Spirit, and you get your love back, and you get your peace back, and you get your healing back, it's hard not to have joy. It's hard not to be happy. Even in your situation, when it doesn't look right, when people say you should be miserable, you can stand with your head held high and say, I still have joy. I still have peace. I still have my love. God gave it to me, and I'm not giving it up to anybody new. Hallelujah. Oh, I'm just excited. You see, now I'm adored again. Why do I need all this stuff? Because God has a divine destiny for your life. Don't get satisfied where you are. Because when you start putting these on, you're going to start to see doors opening up. And God's going to start to push you a little bit. You see, He didn't just adorn me so I could stand here and look cute. He adorned me so I could go out and I can tell somebody else, you don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in depression. You don't have to live in oppression. But there is hope in Christ Jesus today. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, He's so good. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I gotta stop. Oh, Jesus. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Okay. Is it okay if I do a little song? Yes. I'm going to come over here. You want us to stand up? Yeah. Woo! Wear me out. It's just a little chorus, but it just talks about being adorned. Jesus.